Mr. Salazar here, and what I'm going to be covering with you today is actually going over how to install your SoftEther VPN and then access your H drive so that you can actually do the web test assignment. That is located right here on your actual modules. When you click on that module, you're going to find the instructions. Please read them very thoroughly. The very first thing in step one it tells you is you must disconnect any VPNs before you start. I have already checked and disconnected my Norton VPN, so it is no longer working because this will not work, and you can't do it in the middle of it. It has to be done prior to you installing it. As you read through these, you'll see the first one is the actual instructions for the Windows. That's what I'm going to be going over today, and I've already downloaded those. Here are the instructions here, and the first thing it tells you to go to is this link to actually download. I'm just going to copy that link and then I would put it up here and then go to it and download it. I have already downloaded it though. So I'll go ahead and go into my files and I'll go to my actual downloads, and there it is right there. I click on it. And all of this, what I'm going to cover with you, is actually in the document. You click on Next. You click on Yes to make changes. You want the SoftEther VPN client. Click Next. Then you agree with it. You can go ahead and read all that if you want to, and then you click Next. And then you click Next. And you're going to go ahead and put it in the default directory, and then click Next, and then click Next again, and now it's actually going to install. If you look at your documents here, it took you all the way through that right there. It's going to take it just a few minutes to install. And then it's going to automatically put a click to start the actual VPN client manager. You go ahead and click on Finish. And once you're there, this is the screen you're going to get. As you can look in your instructions here, in step 7, it tells you that's what you get. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the Add VPN Connection. So I click on that. Double click, I click Yes, and you're going to go ahead and keep with the name VPN and click OK. And then it's going to create it. And there it now has created it. In your instructions, you'll see that as you reach it down there, we went through that. You named it VPN. And then now we should be right here. Okay. We are actually going to go ahead and add the VPN, and we're going to enter this information here in step 12. Okay, so always have that available. Also, your username and password. Write that down someplace because you may have to re-enter it sometimes, so that way you always have it. You're going to utilize the MEID password that you always use to sign into the computers. You use that. Okay, so I'm going to double click on Add VPN Connection, and it tells us it wants us to name it capital G, C, C, capital MAIN. And then on the host name, it wants us to name it remote gccc.gccaz.edu. And really look at this to make sure that that is correct. Double check it. Spell check it. Make sure. On the port number, you're going to go ahead and click on this down select arrow, and you're going to select the 143 HTTPS port. And then the virtual hub name, you're going to make sure that it says remote GCCAZ. Okay, it won't always populate like this. Mine has, because I've actually done this before. All this portion is now correct. Now you're going to come over here to the right where it says authorization type. You want to make sure that it says radius and NT, so you click on the arrow and you click on the radius and NT domain authentication. Now this is where you put your username in. It's your MEID. At mccccd.org, and then you input your actual password that you use at school when you enter your MEID. And make sure you really enter the correct, or else it will not work. And then you click on OK. Now once you click on OK, it's going to actually come up with this where it established the GCC main, but it says offline. Now if you look at the instructions, you went through that and it showed you everything in red arrows that you were supposed to input. Okay, and then you're supposed to click OK. And the next thing you're supposed to do on step 13 is you're supposed to click connect. So I'm going to right click on it and click connect. This has to be done in order for you to actually access your H drive. Now it says connected. And I'm going to minimize that. The next thing in the instructions that tell you to do as it begins to connect, you'll see a screen that looks like this. Okay. Once the IP has been issued from that, you'll actually see that it's connected. You now have a VPN. Now you can start part 2, map the network drive. All right. You're going to click on File Explorer, and then what you're going to type in there, once you're on the home, you're going to click on the home. You're actually going to type in the //gccaz.edu/home, and then your MEID. Your MEID. Okay, so I click on my File Explorer, I click on the home, and then I click up here in the actual address bar, and I type in //gccaz.edu/home /ROB221. That's mine. And then I hit enter. And then it populates. I now know that it's populated, but I still have one more step to do. On your instructions here, it leaves off there and just tells you to navigate to the desired location. But what you need to do to make sure that you put a pin in it over here so you can always access it again, these 3 dots that are right there, to see more, you click on them, and then I go ahead and I select pin to quick access. And then it pins it to the quick access. If you go ahead and go up, you'll see that right there, which is your MEID. There's a shortcut there now that pins to the quick access. Just remember, you can't click on this and access your H drive until you go back in and you start the SoftEther VPN first. Okay, but remember, you can't run two at once. Any other VPNs you got to shut down. So within the instructions, it tells you to make sure that you go into the public www. This is where all your files that you're ever going to publish here, this is the folder they're going to go into. This is your actual where you're going to publish your files. You have to make two folders. Double click on it. The first folder that you're going to make is all capitals CIS and then 133DA. Then inside that folder, you're going to make another folder called WebTest, spelled exactly like that, with a capital W and a capital T, no spaces in there. Okay? You do that. Now you can go ahead and minimize that, and you're going to go back to the actual instructions. In the instructions now, this part right here, I went over that with you. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to download this HTML test zip folder. It's going to have two files in it. All right? The two files, you're going to actually have to extract it, and then you're going to go ahead and edit the HTML file. The other file is an image file. I've already went ahead and downloaded it. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. I'm going to go to my downloads, and there it is. So I have already went in and right clicked it, and I've already extracted it. You would go ahead and extract all, and here it is there. So if I double click on it, and then I double click here, these are the two files. This is the file that you right click on, and you're going to go ahead and open with Notepad++. And there it is. You're going to make a couple changes to it. You're going to put your name in right here in the top label, and right here in the class, you're going to put your class with your section number, which would be CIS 133, and then the date. Okay, it tells you, these are the instructions that it tells you. If you ever have any questions on what it's supposed to look like, you can click on my link right here to mine that I put in mine, and this is what it's actually supposed to look like when you're through. And there's your instructions. Place this file, okay, once you're done, along with the image file in the WebTest folder upon completion. So once I've actually completed this and everything's done, I save it, which I haven't done anything yet, but we'll pretend I'm saving it. And then you're going to go back to your actual H drive, go back to public www, CIS 133DA, WebTest, and this is where you will put those two files. As you notice, my two are already in there. So you basically just copy them and put them in there. Then once they're in there, they're good. Now in the instructions, it tells you that in order to submit this, you have to actually use a link that's just like this. So you would copy this and put it in there, but you're going to substitute where it says your MEID, you're going to put in your actual MEID. As I just did right here, that's my MEID. The tilde has to remain in there. And what it's doing is it's actually going to that public.www folder, and then going inside this folder, the 133DA, the web test, and then it's going to actually access that HTML test, actual HTML file. But it has to be done like this. So what I suggest you do, once you actually get your link, I suggest you email it to yourself and try to open it on another device other than the computer you're working on. And ladies and gentlemen, that is about it. I hope this helps you. Have a nice day.